Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at headlines making the front pages of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Daily Independent. And the major story here, Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers, others. Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers, others. Another story here, Senate reps disagree on new 0.5% cybersecurity levy. And quickly to another story here, reps probe controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. And the writer there says want relevant documents sent to the National Assembly. And IGP charges police legal officers to protect citizens' rights due process. Tinubu appoints Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekpo, as co-chair NCDMB. Those are the stories you find on the front page of the Daily Independent. To the New Telegraph now. Electricity tariff. Labour demands reversal to 65 naira per kilowatt. Issues 3-day ultimatum. You find that story on page 3, 6, and 31 of the New Telegraph. And the writers there accuses NERC, that's the Regulatory Commission, Electricity Regulatory Commission, of bias. ASU rejects wage award, insists on negotiated salary. Reps urge federal government to implement all pacts with ASU, NASU. Another story here talks about IMF warning federal government against diluting CBN's autonomy. Why Nigeria may not fully benefit from domestic refining by NESG. Those who peddled fake news against Ohaneze leadership will be ostracized. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the New Telegraph. To the Punch newspaper now. Coastal Highway probe. Reps to summon Edun Umahi, AGF. And the writer there says, Works Ministry Defense Project, House panel gets 4 weeks to complete probe. A government under pressure to stop cybersecurity levy. You find that story at the top corner there. 2.7 billion naira fraud. Court imposes travel ban on Sirika data. That hearing began yesterday and he pleaded not guilty. Now, abduction. Citizens slam Inspector General of Police for detaining journalists beyond 48 hours. Another story here, Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers. Q1 foreign debt servicing gulped $1 billion. That's what the CBN is saying. All right, to the Vanguard newspaper now. The major story there, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is still the major focus there. Project not okayed by National Assembly procurement for probe. That's what the reps are saying, the House of Reps saying. Ask Ministers of Works, Finance, Justice, AGF to send all guarantees, credit enhancement instruments to National Assembly. Say project didn't get National Assembly's approval. Another story here. Cash transfer scheme raised household savings but had little other impacts. That's what the World Bank is saying. Deporting 317 Osun indigenes from Lagos illegal, Femi Falana is saying. Another story here, Senate reps disagree on implementation of cybersecurity levy. Some stories you find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. To this Nigerian newspaper now, the major story there, reps halt implementation of cybersecurity levy, send it back, CBN justifies policy. And IMF keeps Nigeria's growth forecast for 2024 at 3.3%. Federal government recaptures fleeing inmates at Suleja Custodial Center. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. To the Business Nigeria newspaper now. Still talking about CBN cybersecurity levy, sparking confusion, outrage. A majority of Nigerians have been speaking to this. And CAC requirement, POS operators threaten to increase charges. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Business Nigeria. And quickly now we will be moving to this other newspaper, talking about Leadership newspaper. Says the Rivers crisis, Fubara lawmakers take fight to assembly quarters. Governor hints estate may need renovation. Pro-Wike lawmakers accuse Fubara of another demolition plot. And another story here, Prince Harry, Meghan arrive in Nigeria today. They will be in Abuja as well as Lagos for their visit. Kemi.
Right. Blueprint is next. And the lead story there is on the president's executive bill regarding the CJN and other members of the judiciary, other senior members of the judiciary, where the headline story reads that the CJN is to earn 57.8 million naira annually, as well as 80.7 million naira severance benefits. The appeal court president also quoted as to earn 52.5 million, and justices of the Supreme Court 50.5 million, as well as other allowances. Senate, on the other hand, says judicial officers cry in silence and benefits long overdue, because this bill was tabled before the Senate on Thursday. Other stories there, Senate OK 0.5% cybersecurity levy as reps halt implementation. Northern Elders Kick says CBN directive insensitive. Also on the blueprint, some fleeing inmates recaptured. We are closing in on others. And presidency refutes reports that Microsoft is leaving Nigeria. Next is the Nation newspaper. NLC still insisting on its 615,000 naira demand of a new minimum wage, stating reasons for their justification. And Rivers State reaffirms legitimacy as Fubara, the governor there, backs 3 loyal lawmakers. Sirika others get 100 million naira bill. Chibok girl back with 3 kids after 10 years. And House Senate differ on cyber levy. These are some of the stories on the front page of The Nation. On Nigerian News Direct, FG checks Lokbobiri Heineken appoints co-chair for NTD MB board, 6 due process, increased investments in gas projects. And the legacy I'll leave behind as governor, Makinde of Oyo State reveals. Also another story on the Nigerian News Direct, housing deficit in Lagos State, 698 civil servants to become homeowners. Let's check out The Guardian now. How real estate firms, agencies flees prospective property buyers as well as tenants. 1 reportedly killed, several injured in fresh Okwama violence. 45-year-old cleric defiles 3 minors in Kwara and blames devil. IMF projects 24% inflation rate for Nigeria by year end. And there is, a further pictorial image of transactions exempted from the controversial cybersecurity levy. You may want to check them all out. Platform Times is reporting on further ripples at the Olabisi Onabanjo University over call for visitation panel after a previous report spotlighting what it calls the rot in the system over there at OOU Agoiwoye, Ogun State. Details are in the body of the paper. Platform Times is also reporting on customs seizing contraband worth 380 million naira in 23-day crackdown. Military arrests Lance Corporal in Borno for allegedly hiding ammunition in bag of rice. Lassa fever ravages Nigeria, 156 lives lost, 857 cases confirmed. Woman sentenced to 8 months in prison for pouring hot water on sleeping co-wife in Abuja. Also, okay, that's it on Platform Times. All right. Okay, there's also Nature News. Nature News says Nigeria loses $9 billion to illegal mining annually. That's from the Minister for Solid Minerals, Dele Alake. Nigeria, Saudi Arabia strengthen bilateral ties on agric development. UNICEF supports NEMA on preparation for disaster management. These are some of the stories on the front page of Nature News. Finally, with me is Sporting News with so many headline stories on the front page, among which are Lookman shooting Italians into Europa final, grabs goal, assist to face Boniface's Leverkusen May the 22nd. There is the sad story there of former Super Eagles star Ibrahim Babangida, whose death was reported last night or yesterday, so to speak. There's also a report there about Eagles ex-star Tijani and wife hospitalized. May his soul rest in peace. Osimhen survives injury scare. That's also on the front page of Sporting Life of the Nation. So many stories there. Check all the details out there.
Right. Interesting. And may the soul of Ibrahim Babangida, rest in peace. Majority of these persons that played for Nigeria at the time seemingly passing away all of a sudden, but then they made their imprint on the sands of time, and people will forever remember them. But one concern has been how life had been after they were actively playing football as it is, and that's why some persons have called for perhaps, the governments, be it state, be it federal as it is, doing a lot for these persons to encourage the young ones to be patriotic towards the country. You see a lot of young football players now not necessarily wanting to dedicate themselves or even do much. They may play, but they just leave. How much impact has that even really transferred to? Yes, they are putting the country, they're raising the flag of the country out there, but how much are they seeing the country do for others, their predecessors, such that it encourages them to do more beyond just raising the flags out there, but they're giving back to the society, basically.
Right. These are very valid points. It's a sad one there. In Ibrahim Babangida's case now, the football star, that is the former star, that is, we understand that, okay, he was the president of the Professional Football Association of Nigeria. And, his death is indeed a sad loss to the country, because even though they may not be playing active football, but from their legacies, they surely have, so much more to offer the country, up and coming, footballers.
Stars, yes.
They have a lot to offer. And sadly there we have, just yet another, former star passing on.
Absolutely. Well, everyone has their time on earth.
Right.
But may his soul rest in peace. Now, after the